Everybody, welcome to Hump Day Hangouts.
Uh-oh,
I
did we lose
guess he
Adam?
left us.
I
Welcome to
guess
Hump
he,
Day Hangouts. Adam just left us as usual. And here he is
I,
again.
I think he's coming back now, though.
That was amazing. Hey, everybody, let's try that again. Instead of clicking it says we're going live. I closed the entire window instead of just closing that one. So, welcome to the Hump Day Hangouts where Adam relearns how to use a computer and the internet. So, it's episode 479. Today is the 17th of January, 2024. As usual, we're going to say hello to the guys, see what's going on. Got a couple quick announcements, and then we're going to get into questions. So, Chris, how you doing today?
Doing good. Actually got an upgrade on my internet, so I hope the communication is better now. Also faster speed with uploads. So looking forward to do more audits. Got a bit of a backlog here on my end, so just gotta plow through them this week.
Nice, cool. All right, Bradley, how about you? How you doing?
Good, man. I'm glad to be here. I was on top of a mountain. Well, I've been staying at a campground on top of a mountain in an RV while I'm getting some property developed. And I wasn't planning on being there in the dead of winter. Like I intentionally tried not to be there during the dead of winter, but it just so happened with the nature of the property that everything just worked out to where I'm there in the dead of winter. And we had a storm come in on Sunday that they said was going to be like on Sunday when I was looking at the weather, I was thinking, well, maybe I should leave and go stay with some family or something until the storm blows over. But they said it's going to be cold, but we're going to have 1 inch of snow on Tuesday. Well, on Monday, we got it started snowing on Monday, and by Tuesday, we had already had about 10 inches of snow, and it was single digits in temperature. And it said it wasn't going to get above 15 degrees for the next 3 days. And we're supposed to get more snow. And I just said, son of a bitch, I'm out of here because I would have froze to death up there. And there's nowhere in that town that I was staying that had propane. So like, I would have had to drive 45 minutes away just to get propane. And like the storm was just awful. So anyway, long story short, yesterday morning, by 10 o'clock in the morning, I realized that it was like life or death, like no kidding. Like I was gonna get stuck up there if I didn't get out. So I bounced yesterday kind of on an emergency basis and got out of there. Unfortunately, I was able to get out of the campground. I got a big dually truck and all that. So I was able to get through all that snow and get out to the roads where the roads weren't all that bad, but it was just getting in and out of that because it's on top of a mountain, like literally. So it was quite a nerve-wracking experience, but I was able to get out of there yesterday, and now I'm in a warmer environment. I wouldn't say it's warm, but it's warmer. So, but I'm just glad to be here, man. I showed you guys earlier this morning. I sent you a screenshot of the temperature at the top of that mountain. It was 0 degrees with it feeling like -9 degrees Fahrenheit. And that's where I would have been this morning had I not left yesterday. So I'm really glad that I got the hell out of there.
Yeah, good
So
call. It's interesting. I'm in upstate New York, so usually I get the colder weather, and I was like, oh man, that's the real deal. Bradley's temps down there are colder, and you're
it was
several
bad.
hundred miles south of me. So
Yeah.
man,
Yeah.
well, glad you're there. And I think I've figured out the beard situation too. I think it's if you guys are growing your beards out, mine gets shorter or something, or when
It's
I cut
something.
mine, you grow yours out. I don't know.
I'm growing mine out because being on top of a mountain, it's like I feel like Grizzly Adams. I have to,
Got to play
be
the part,
all
right?
furry just to keep warm.
Yeah, summer comes. Otherwise, move to Florida.
Yeah. Well, I got a couple of quick announcements. Like I said, one of those, if you guys haven't seen, well, one, if you're not on the Semantic Mastery email list or you're not in the Facebook group, do that. You can head over to semanticmastery.com, enter your email, stay up to date. We send out kind of snippets from Hump Day Hangouts, like some of the more popular questions, a lot of good info, as well as upcoming things like this. So we're going to be talking, or rather, Bradley's going to be talking with Jesper Nissen on Monday. This coming Monday, what is the date in case people are watching this afterwards? The 22nd, about schemawriter.ai. So this is Jesper's tool and looking at, really helping to automate and improve the schema and making this not be such a pain in the butt is how I would describe it. So getting it done right, and really speeding things up. So he's going to be doing a live demo. I'm going to be talking a lot about, rapidly building out FAQs and FAQ schema in addition to, just all of the other stuff you would think would go with this. So I'm going to drop the link on the page. If you haven't yet, sign up for that. Should be really interesting. Jesper's always got some good stuff, and looking forward to seeing what people think about this. So, Bradley, did you have anything you wanted to add to that?
No, just that it is a really good app. It produces really, really optimized or very thorough, I should say, schema. It requires manual optimization afterwards, but it develops very thorough schema very quickly with just some basic inputs. And then obviously you have to go in and manually edit some of them to get rid of non-relevant terms and associations and things like that. But it's good. It's fast. It's a simple app to use. It's just basically you input the company data and the appropriate information, and then it goes out and it uses AI writing, connects, I guess, with ChatGPT, and it kind of develops some really thorough schema that it pulls in. It's kind of like it pulls in everything that it thinks is related. So some of the stuff needs to be manually edited out in order for it to be appropriate, in my opinion. But it's quick because it develops it very quickly with minimal inputs. And some of the previous, well, I would say the previous app that I used, which is called Schema app, it was a lot more clunky to use, so to speak, and required a lot more input. And it was just a slower app to use. So it was also more advanced in that it would allow you to do more things than what Schema Writer does currently. But I like its simplicity, if that makes sense, because I don't like programs that have a ton of learning curve. I don't enjoy working in software and programs and stuff. I just don't, never have. So I like Schema apps, or excuse me, Schema Writer specifically for that. And I actually canceled Schema app after many, many years, once I got access to Jesper's tool. So I'd encourage you guys to check it out. It's a good app.
Cool. That is my big announcements for today. I'm just going to add on there. If you're not subscribed to the channel, please hit subscribe. Stay up to date. We have these live Hump Day Hangouts. Of course, you can pop in a question ahead of time, and we ask that you do so. It makes it a lot easier on both sides. But you can come and be here live if you need some clarification or you want to chat. We do enjoy having you here. But you can go to semanticmastery.com/HD questions and put in your question there into the form. And then get it answered. And if you're subscribed, you get a notification of when the videos come out. And then we not only show the replay, of course, but we take those, we chop up each question into a little video and post that as well. So super helpful. And if you're subscribed, you get notified of that stuff. Just makes it a little bit easier.
Yeah, we've got over 4,000 published videos now, and we've probably got 1,500 unpublished videos. Like, no kidding. We've got close to 6,000 videos on our channel. It's nuts. So.
Well, let's make some more.
All right, well, let's get into it. Let me grab the screen. First and foremost, this is the weather I was talking about. That was this morning, guys, where I was on top of that mountain. 0 degrees Fahrenheit, -9 degrees. And that's where I would have been this morning had I not emergency evacuated yesterday. And I am so glad I did, because I was literally down to like the last tank of propane, and I probably wouldn't have made it another 24 hours, and I would have woke up to that. And could you imagine trying to like pack up and winterize in 0? Oh my God, it would have been horrible. So I made the right decision yesterday for sure. Anyway. All right, so I'm going to get started on this. Don't have a lot of questions today, but at least they're not all about the same topic like they were last week. So let's jump into this. First one is from Roy. He says, "Hey, Bradley, what's going on? In reference to last week's Hump Day Hangout, you mentioned that ID pages will likely take the place of GBP websites moving forward. Since the concept of ID pages is new to me, and I actually have no idea what an ID page is, can you please elaborate on ID pages, including what an ID page is and how an ID page works as far as SEO? Thanks." Yeah, so what I'm going to do is I'm just actually going to show, and I'll drop this in chat. But if you just go to in fact, let me just show you guys how to do this. We're going to go to our channel. So if you just go to YouTube and go to youtube.com/semantic mastery. So you go to our channel and click this channel search feature. I'm going to post the link too, guys, but we just talked about this again, either last week or the week before, because somebody asked something similar and I did some training on it. But an ID page, let's see. If we just pull that up, you'll see right here, what are ID pages and how do you use them for SEO? It's a 12.5-minute video. But that's going to answer all your questions about an ID page and what they are and why we use them. And I don't want to rehash this again, because this was from just 3 months ago when I originally recorded that reply to it. Somebody else asked a very similar question. And so I gave a very thorough answer right here. So I don't feel like rehashing that right now. Just Roy, it's nothing against you, man. I'm just saying that I've already got a resource for this. So I'm going to grab this link and paste this into chat here. And hopefully we can get that to you in the replay of this webinar as well so that you can just go view it. But again, if you just go to our channel, so youtube.com/semantic mastery, use channel search feature and search ID page. Boom, it's that one right there from 3 months ago. What are ID pages and how do you use them for SEO? And it's very thorough. Okay. So hopefully that answers that question. Okay, number 2 is Peter says, how can you determine if a drop in rankings for a keyword was from a link penalty? Is it possible to recover from a penalty? Yes, it is. It's difficult to tell. There are so many different factors to consider when looking. To be able to determine if it's a link penalty or a non-page penalty. Now, sometimes you can identify if it's one or the other just from recent activity. So in other words, if you haven't made any on-page changes in a while and all of a sudden you catch a penalty, it is more likely a link penalty, but that's not always the case because it can still be an on-page penalty that wasn't applied to the project until, recently, if that makes sense. So it's hard to tell, man, because there's so many variables to look at. A search console is a good kind of starting point, but also, analyzing your backlink profile, determining what that looks like, and look at link velocity, look at anchor text ratios, all of that kind of stuff is important. I think link penalties are less likely or less of an event now than on-page penalties because just the nature of how Google treats links is it more or less kind of ignores links unless it if they're not relevant, unless it can clearly identify, links that were being manufactured, right? In which case, yeah, you can still catch a link penalty. But what I've seen more recently is more on-page penalties than link penalties. From doing a ton of audits over the last several many months, year and a half, something like that. I've done a lot of SEO audits for various clients, either white label clients or mastermind members, etc. And usually what I've been able to determine is the vast majority of the times, if they're not performing well, or if a site has seen a decline in rankings, it's usually more of an on-page thing than an off-page thing now. I'm not saying you can't still catch a link penalty. You certainly can. But what I'm saying is I see more often, more commonly, on-page penalties than off-page penalties. Because again, most of the time, from at least from my testing and from my research, is that page links without relevance are typically just ignored. It's only if Google can clearly identify, or the algorithm can clearly identify that a link has been manufactured or that links are being manufactured that a link penalty can occur. So again, I'm not saying that it's not a link penalty, but it's more, in my opinion, without having any additional information, and just from my experience in recent months, it's more likely an on-page thing. Can you recover from a penalty? Yes, you can. In many cases, I've been able to recover things that have caught penalties. But I've had some of my own projects that I've not been able to recover. No matter what I've done, I spent months and months and months trying to recover a particular project that is one of my oldest tree service projects for lead gen. And it, is a domain that I've had for many years, over 10 years now. And about a year and a half, maybe 2 years ago now, it caught a penalty. And I spent 6 or 7 months and an enormous amount of effort trying to recover that domain and could never get it to recover. No matter what I did, I could not get it to recover. So eventually I started shifting the page URLs for the locations that I had for that project to their own respective subdomains on a different domain. It was the same domain, just a different extension. And I was able to recover partially from that, but I never finished that project anyway. So some of those pages are still on the old domain that caught some sort of a penalty. And so yeah, there are times where I haven't been able to recover, but other times I have. And again, it's more of a, what type of penalty is it? I think link penalties are harder to recover from than on-page penalties because it's very difficult to go. You can disavow stuff, guys, but that's not always going to solve the problem either. So my guess is, again, without analyzing it deeper, it's going to be hard to determine which type of penalty you got. Fortunately, I can't give you a better answer than that because there's so many different things you have to look into to determine what is the likely culprit. And a short question like that is not nearly enough data to make an informed, analysis. So, all right, moving on. This one is from, if I can get this to work properly, I'll tell you. Justin. Justin says, hey guys, I figure you're probably getting flooded with stuff related to this and are already aware yourselves, but I wanted to add my vote to talk about it. I just got an email about Google business sites being retired, unless I'm misunderstanding what it means. The brand names, well, whatever, the subdomain sites we leverage so heavily are going to be deleted and redirected to our Google Maps profiles. Yep, that's correct. In the past, you've used the Google feature to make a simple website from the information on your business profile. This feature is going away. Yeah, okay. Is there a question here, or is this just reiterating? Yeah, there's no question here. So, okay, well, thanks, Justin. Yes, we are aware. There's no question there, so I don't know what you're asking. I see that you've posted some of the language that is in the notification that everybody received, but I don't see a question here, so I'm not sure what you're asking me to do other than you're just reinforcing what we know. So I appreciate that, Justin. Thank you. Yes, we are fully aware. Since I don't have a question there, I'm going to move on. Peter says, is there any value in using hashtags for SEO? Yeah, there can be, because they can drive traffic. Like I know in Twitter or X, whatever the hell you want to call it now, if a hashtag gets picked up and goes kind of viral, it can generate a ton of traffic. So they can be. You can also do hashtags in like YouTube videos and things like that. I've not seen a ton of results from doing that. I've tested with it in the past though, but yeah, I mean, you can use hashtags for SEO if, especially if they get picked up and, get retweeted or republished, et cetera, shared. If they get shared a bunch, then that can result in traffic, which can affect SEO, right? But I don't do any kind of specific things with hashtags because I'm not a social media guy. I'm an SEO guy, just so you guys are aware. I'm an SEO guy. Social media can be effective for SEO too, but I'm not somebody that goes in and does a ton of social media stuff. I just personally, I don't really like social media, so I just don't use it much. And in the industries that I worked in most of my SEO career has been working with home service type contractors. And I just always found social media stuff didn't really produce much of an effect for any of those contractors. As many times as I've tried it over the years to produce an effect using SEO for clients, for generating leads for home service type clients, it's not been effective. And even if it does generate leads, they're very low quality leads. And so I gave up on that years ago and said, I'm just going to stick with search, because at least with search, that somebody is going to Google to search for a solution, and where we can insert our clients into that process so that they get seen. And then it's a targeted lead, and it's a much higher quality lead than somebody that's looking at, on Facebook to look at stupid cat videos and, memes and things like that. And then they get interrupted with do you need your roof replaced ad that they click on and it captures their information. That's a very low quality lead because they weren't on Facebook to look for roof replacement contractors. They were there to socialize and watch stupid cat videos. You know what I mean? So the point that I'm trying to make is those leads are typically very low quality. From my experience, I know there are other people that still run Facebook ads for generating leads for contractors and stuff, and they say that they get good results. Okay, great. That's your preferred method. I don't like that. I like to use search because it's a much more targeted, higher quality leads based upon my experience. So that's what I do, and that's what I teach. And plus, I just like SEO better than social media. So hopefully that makes sense. Okay, anyways, moving on. Matt says, to clarify my question from 2 weeks ago regarding two service pages under the same topic. And here's a video. I'm not going to go click the video, guys. So sorry, Matt, but I think I remember the question. My client already has multiple service pages created, which are under the same semantic topic. So what would your approach be to optimizing them? I understand that if I was making a new site, it makes the most sense to see how rankings sit with one page for that topic, but being that the pages are already created for each service, what would you recommend? Okay, Matt, and no, that's perfectly fine. In fact, I just spent 2 weeks. I just finished it on Monday, actually, this week, but I spent 2 weeks developing another website template that's in high level. So it's a high level website template that is specifically developed where the service pages are separated out as individual service pages instead of being all under one service page, because they all do fall under the same category. In my case, it's tree service, which is the primary category. And so all 4 services, the template that I built is 4 service pages: tree removal, tree trimming, tree care, and stump removal, which are broad kind of terms that cover all of the services. Those 4 service terms, broad terms, cover all of the services that 90% of tree service contractors provide. right? So instead of having one service page labeled tree service or tree services, which would be the topic, or the category in Google is tree little s service. So that's the category, the Google business category, or the topic term, the top level topic term is actually tree maintenance, little m maintenance. And I've tested with that. We're having the one service page where all the semantically relevant services, right? All the services that fall under that same topic or category are on that same page. And that's effective. But where it's more effective, coming back, Matt, to and precisely why I'm talking about this, the reason why I spent 2 weeks developing this high-level website template that's all short codes and custom value codes so that the site can be deployed by just completing forms in high level, where it's just data entry. Once you hit submit, the site's built, other than the content, which I recommend having unique content for every page. So we still develop content separately for each page, but the entire structure, all the internal linking, all the images, everything is done through just filling out this form, these high-level forms. Anyway, the reason I bring that up is because I built that site with 4 separate service pages, as I just mentioned: tree removal, tree trimming, tree care, and stump removal, instead of having them all on one page. Why? Why did I do that? Well, because it's the location page that I'm trying to rank, not the service pages. I'm not trying to rank the tree removal page. I'm not trying to rank the stump removal page or the tree care page or the tree trimming page. I'm trying to rank the city page, the location pages. So for that, the location pages should be optimized for the top level topic or category, right? So again, tree service or tree maintenance would be what I optimize the location page for, that then references each of those individual services through internal linking on the page, if that makes sense. So, and part of the reason why, look, I'll demonstrate this, guys. I've demonstrated this dozens and dozens of times. I'll do it again because I think this is valuable. So let me do this, because I think I'll explain why I think this, what you're asking about is fine. You can have separate service pages, as I'm about to demonstrate here. So this is the example that I've shown many, many times, because this is a low competition area. So this site ranks and performs very well, just with basically no backlinks. And it's just because of the structure of the site is why it performs so well. And that's this one here. Okay. So this one is exactly what I'm talking about. This has got 4 service pages and five location pages. And so each of these service pages could be consolidated into one page that's labeled as service or whatever. And I could have H2s for tree removal, tree trimming, tree clearing, or land clearing, and which are synonymous with each other, and stump grinding. I could have a single services page for that, but instead this site is built out with separate service pages. As you can see, this is the tree removal page. This one is the tree trimming page, right? These are separate service pages. But I'm not trying to rank the service pages. I'm trying to rank the location pages. So the location pages can reference each of those services. As you see here, under tree maintenance services, I'm linking to each of those service pages. But this is the page that I want to rank, not any of the service pages. So what we do is we optimize this top level page, or this location page, for the top level topic or category term. In this case, it's tree service. And this page can now rank for all of the search queries associated with that topic or category with one page, right? And that's what I've done here. And again, guys, I've demonstrated this dozens of times in Hump Day Hangouts, but I'm going to do it again because it's relevant to this question. You see where we're ranked, number 1, organic. And by the way, this is a duplicate of that site on a different domain, but this one is done in high level. And so again, I'm just demonstrating that this process, this site configuration, this structure is very effective. It performs really well in local search. Here's one of the properties from what I call the content mirroring method. Further down, there's another property from the content mirroring method. Further down, there's another page from this Grim Reaper Tree Services site. Further down, there's another page right here. Again, the point that I'm trying to make is these are all because of the structure being very well optimized for local search. You can see we get multiple page 1 rankings. But anyways, to come back here, that's the top level term. So let's go in here and take a look at the supporting terms that fall under that same category or topic. Tree trimming Newburgh, what do we see? Right? Grim Reaper Tree Services. That's the site that I was just showing you. That's the page, the Newburgh Tree Service page. Look at the SEO title. Newberg tree service. You see that? So what I'm trying to say here is this one location page can rank for every search query associated with that topic or category because of how this page, the page and the site are structured. Remember, guys, there's page structure and there's site structure. Those are both things that you can optimize to perform better, right? It used to be that you could structure one page really, really well, and that one page could rank, even if the rest of the site would suck, like had shitty structure and everything else. Now, because of the helpful content update, the rest of the site score can actually lower a page's score. So therefore, it's best to not only have good page structure, but also good site structure and make sure that things aren't over optimized. Anyways, let's get back to me demonstrating how powerful this is. Let's go to tree removal. Okay, so that's the next service, right? What do we see? Newberg tree service, Grim Reaper tree services.com or Grim Reaper tree.services. That's this site, this page right here. It's ranked for that term. Should I continue? Let's continue. Let's block that for now and go to tree care, right? So here's another term. What do we see? Grim Reaper tree services, #1, right? So let's keep moving, guys. Let's do tree pruning. Another term that's not even listed, but tree pruning and tree trimming are synonymous with each other. What do we see? Grim Reaper tree services, #1 position. Felling Pro #2. Again, same structure, guys, just one's on WordPress, one's on high level. So I can keep moving, guys. You guys, should I keep moving? I mean, I think you guys understand the point here. But stump grinding, Newburgh, Kentucky, what do we see? Again, Grim Reaper tree services. We can do stump removal. We can do land clearing. We can do arborist services. We can just on and on and on, guys. I can show you that this one page ranks for every search query that is associated with tree service, the category, or tree maintenance, the topic. In any case, either one of those cases, this one page ranks for every search query associated with that topic or category term. Full stop. Why? Because of the way that it's optimized. Because we are creating the associations between the services and the location page, which is the page that we want to rank. So you optimize that for the top level category or topic term, right? If it is a location landing page, I recommend optimizing for the Google Business category. If it's a organic page, optimize for the top level topic term. I can't tell you what that is, and you have to research that and figure that out on your own. I found that I can rank for tree service or tree maintenance as pretty much those are the two top level, because tree service is the actual category, tree little s service is the category, and tree little m maintenance is the top level topic term. So if I use one of those two terms as my SEO title for the location pages, I can rank for every one of the search queries associated with that. Does that make sense? So, and again, just kind of one more time, let's just say, let's look up arborist, right? That's another one. What do we see? Again, Grim Reaper tree services. I just went through what, 6, 7, maybe even 8 keywords, and this page ranks #1 for every one of those. And go look at the backlink profile. You pause the screen for a minute and I'll just show you. I'll go into Majestic and we'll take a look at it. Here we go. This is the backlink profile to that page, guys. 0 backlinks. See that? If we go look at the root, or let's look at the subdomain for that site, there's not a lot of backlinks. There's 6 referring domains pointing to this site. So this site is not, it's not because I did any magic SEO backlinking and off page and all that shit. No, it's literally site structure is the reason this is ranking, because it's very, very well structured page as well as structured site. And that's what performs well. So like I said, in the mastermind, I just produced a new version of the Felling Pro. This is the high level site. And this site is not optimized properly. There's significant problems with this high level template, as we can see here. If I, oh, sorry, that's not what I wanted. If we clicked, grab this and go over to Chrome, I'll show you what I mean. This high level version of the site doesn't perform as well. And for a long time, I assumed that it was because high level code is bloated and Google prefers WordPress code over high level. And that may still be the case, but somehow, some way, I missed a lot of technical errors that were in the template, built into the template of this site. This was an original template that I got from a snapshot that I purchased called, shit, what's it called? SEO for GHL or something like that. Anyways, it was a snapshot that I purchased and it had a template in there that was this structure. but it was everything had to be manually edited. So I went and spent weeks and weeks and like seriously editing this template to do everything in short code. So all of this site can be completed basically by just filling out custom values in high level. And so this, I thought that this site structure was done well, but there were a lot of things that I missed that I just discovered recently. So I spent 2 weeks redoing this template now in high level that is highly optimized. And this is not it. There's another version of this now that is highly optimized where all of those technical errors were corrected. And it took me literally 2 full weeks. I have over 70 hours invested into this template. But here's the examples of the egregious technical errors that I found on this template, which is still performing number 2 position for every one of these search queries. So why I'm telling you this is because it just demonstrates that even this site structure, even with significant technical SEO errors as far as formatting of the pages themselves, it still performs incredibly well. And so let me just show you what I mean. If we go back and take a look at this, this is the SEO Pro extension. If you take a look at this template, guys, look how many H1 headings there are. It's saying there's 14 H1 headings on this page, 23 H2s, and look at some of the H1 headings. They're short codes, right? They're tokens. And so this page right here has got significant errors, and yet it is still ranking in the number 2 position for every one of the search queries I just demonstrated. Why? Because the structure is sound. So once all of those kind of technical errors have been resolved, which the new template it has, again, I spent over 70 hours optimizing the new template that corrected all of those errors. That site should perform incredibly well. Again, for low to medium competition locations, that site alone should rank with basically next to no backlinks just because of the structure of the site. I can't do your topic and category research for you. That's something you're going to have to do. But once you've identified that and you figure out how to plug it into this type of a structure, I promise you will get really, really good results with a fraction of the backlinks needed that you would normally have for most projects in order for it to perform. Again, look at this, guys, 6 referring domains. That project is doing really, really well. Does that make sense? All right, let's move on. Hopefully that clarified that. But you should see, like, I'll just show an example of this. This is one that's a kind of trimmed down version of the updated. As I just showed you guys, all these errors that I've found on this one, 14 H1 tags, and you can see some of the H1s, what they look like. I mean, it's just ridiculous. This page was really formatted very poorly. Look at this. It's horrible. And I don't know why. I seem to remember 2 years ago when I built this template or modified the template, you couldn't edit all those values. And I think high level changed. Maybe I just missed it, but I really have a hard time believing I missed all that shit, but it's certainly possible. Look at this version, right? We'll go into one of these service pages so that we're looking at the same type of page. You see how this is Felling.pro for Newburgh, Kentucky? Well, this is Felling Pro for Grundy, Virginia, which is where I just was on top of mountain in the freezing cold weather. But let's go take a look at this now. There's 2 H1s. Why? Because there's a mobile version of the site too. With high level, it's really 2 versions of the same site, the desktop and a mobile version. And so now you can see it's significantly better, trimmed down to just the bare essentials. And this site should perform a lot better. And as I just showed you, I have 4 separate service pages for this one too. All of these could have been consolidated under one page, but I'm not trying to rank that page or any of those individual services. Instead, I want to rank each one of these location pages. So I've optimized these for the SEO title. I've got tree service, city tree service. Then the first H1, I'm optimizing for the top level topic term, which is tree maintenance. If you guys understand that, right? And then the rest of this is just reinforcing it. So hopefully that's clear. It's a good question. I understand a lot of people have questions about these site structures. And also topic and category optimization that comes up over and over and over again. And I understand it's kind of a newer concept, especially if you have previous SEO experience where we come from keyword world. By the way, you can still optimize for keywords, guys. It makes sense to have top level topic or category pages or pages that are optimized on the site. So top level pages optimized for topics or categories, but then still place supporting content that is keyword optimized within the appropriate categories. And then use internal linking to kind of force Google to understand what you want, what the site is about, right? And then you can rank those top level pages because of the supporting content. And that's done through internal links. I'm not saying projects don't still need external links. Many will. But a lot of the times you can accomplish really good results in low to medium competition areas just from internal linking because of proper site structure, if that's clear. So anyway, it was a good question, Matt. I appreciate it very much. And hopefully that was clear. Peter says, is it a bad idea to start another service area type of business for a different industry using the same address? Yeah, unless you I wouldn't do it unless you can add some sort of a like suite number or some sort of a modifier to the street address. Okay, so again, let me pause the screen. I'm going to open up Notepad file. We talk about this all the time too, many times. And so I'm going to reiterate this again. Let's see, who was this that asked this question? Peter? There are 4 data points that Google really looks at for, we always talk about for local projects, NAP, so name, address, and phone number. Sorry, guys, my screen was paused. We usually talk about NAP, right? So name, address, phone number, but really it's NAPW, right? There's name, so that's the business name. So I'm going to say business name. A is the physical address. Okay, so that's the street address, city, state, zip, etc. Phone, this is obviously the business phone number. And then lastly, there's W, which is the website address. You can only have one common data point if it's a multi-location business. I know that's not your question, but I'm getting to a point here, okay? If you have a multi-location business, you can only have one common data point among those 4, or else you can create location ambiguation, which means you can confuse the hell out of Google. Where I see a lot of multi-location businesses make mistakes is they'll use the same business name, which makes sense. It's the same business, no matter which location they're in, right? So it makes sense to have the business name common across all locations. One thing you can do is append the city name as a modifier, as a delineator, a distinguishing element. You can do that, and that's what I typically recommend to multi-location projects that are clients of mine, is that we use the same business name, obviously, but we append the city name for each individual location. But getting back to my point about one common data point, the physical address, it should be unique if it's a multi-location business, right? The business name can be common, but each location is going to have its own unique physical address. The phone number, and therefore, should also be unique. It should have a separate tracking phone number, forwarding number, whatever you want to call it, for each location. And then lastly, the website is usually going to be the same website, but it doesn't have to be the same page, right? So this is the website address, but what I call the LLP, or location landing page. So if you're going to have a multi-location business where the business name is going to remain consistent and you don't append the city name to the business name, then each of these other 3 data points should be unique, or else it will wreak havoc on the ability for the Google business profiles to rank because of location ambiguation. So in other words, you want to have a unique physical address, unique phone number, and a unique landing page address, right? So that's the URL that is linked to from the Google business profile. I call that the location landing page. So in the case of where you're saying, can it hurt to have the same business or a different business, different industry at the same physical address? No, because it should have a different business name, a different phone number, and a different website address. But to make this even more unique, what I would do is add a suite number or something, if possible, right? A suite number or box number or something like that. So for example, if it was 123 Main Street, you originally, that's the original address, but you want to add a second business location for a different industry, etc. there, you're going to have a unique name. You can make the address unique by having business 1 with 123 Main Street, 123-A, for example, right? It could be, 123-A Main Street. Then your second business could be 123-B Main Street. Does that make sense? Then you will still have a unique business name for the new business and a unique phone number, shouldn't be the same phone number, and a unique website address. So you can do it that way. If you have, if it's your address, that your business address, you can always contact the post office and tell them, like, make sure that it's clear with them. I've done that in the past and they've been okay with it. You just got to notify them that you've got two different, you're appending a modifier to their business, but both sets of mail, US physical mail, should be delivered to this address, 123 Main Street. Just make sure that the post office is aware that you are adding a delineator to that street address number, because it's for different businesses. You can say that it's just to separate correspondence to the appropriate business. You can say that, and the post office will likely approve it. Hopefully that's clear. So yes, you can do it. I would recommend adding that location modifier, if that makes sense, address modifier, however you want to call it, to make it all 4 of these data points unique, so that you don't run the risk of location or entity ambiguation. Hopefully that's clear. Good question. Oh, sweet. We're almost done. Coco says, how hard is it for a client to get a DBA? Well, I don't know about every state, but in the state of Virginia, it's incredibly easy. You can do it all online now. You just go to the State Corporation Commission, which, by the way, whatever state you're in, just search your state name, State Corporation Commission. So Virginia State Corporation Commission, right? And you go in and you order a fictitious name. It costs $10. Once you check out, then you can download or print a PDF, which is a certificate of fictitious name, a certificate of fact, or something, as they call it, something like that. But now you have a certificate that is registered with the state for your as a fictitious name or DBA, doing business as. So in my case, like my primary LLC is Big Bamboo Marketing LLC, but I have a number of DBAs. So I can say Big Bamboo Marketing LLC DBA as Tree Care HQ, as I've got a number of Alpha Land Realty, which was my real estate flipping business, my land flipping business. All of those were DBAs of Big Bamboo Marketing LLC. Many years ago, I used to create a bunch of different LLCs, but that creates a shit ton of additional tax headache, tax preparation work, a lot more expense with the CPAs, with my accountant, because she'd have to prepare all those corporate returns, all of that shit. I got smart. Everything that I do is in the marketing business, marketing and lead generation business. So Big Bamboo Marketing is the parent corporation, and all of my other businesses are DBAs of that. And it makes sense, because like Semantic Links, for example, is a DBA of Big Bamboo Marketing LLC. Now I've got one corporate return to prepare every year, and that's it. Number of businesses, one corporate return. Does that make sense? So that's why I do DBAs for everything, guys. And if you're doing lead gen stuff, guys, I would encourage you to register. By the way, that's why build a lead gen brand and stick with it, right? Expand it out, because you can do a DBA for your lead gen brand. And now you have real valid proof that, you're using a name that you've registered with the state. So again, in Virginia, it's $10. It takes like 15 minutes on their web portal. The Virginia State Corporation Commission, I'll just show you what it looks like in right here. Right there. This is the State Corporation Commission Clerk's Information System for the state of Virginia. And you can just, again, sign in or whatever in your state. And if I sign in, I'll show you there's a fictitious name registration process that you could do check name availability to make sure that it's not registered as a corporation or an LLC. And if it's not already been registered in your state, then you can order the fictitious name. Again, I'm not sure how it's done in your state, but in here you can, if we go back to dashboard, you'll see it was right there. If it goes back, it was right over here, but it says fictitious name registration or whatever. So anyway, hopefully that's clear. See, there's a certificate of fact of existence. So that's what you would get, that I would download. You download that as a PDF. But anyway, hopefully that's clear. All right. Okay, guys, let's move on. Let's look at comments, and then we can wrap it up for the day. Oh, also, if you have a national brand, can you have multiple businesses can you have multiple businesses have a DBA for the one brand? I don't think so. Are you talking about, no, I don't know about that. Because I'm not sure I'm reading the question properly. Are you saying you have multiple companies that are going to register the same fictitious name? I don't know that that's possible. It might be, but I'm not 100% sure, because I've never attempted that, and I don't know why you would. What I always do is, like I said, is you check to see if a name is available first, and then if it's not already been registered as an LLC or a corporation within your state, then you can use that name as a fictitious name. If it's already been registered, from what I understand, they won't allow you to use it. Like if it's being used as a corporation or LLC name, if that makes sense. That's my understanding anyway. But I'm not an attorney, so you might have to contact a corporate attorney if that's the case. Okay. All right.
Let's see, we definitely got one. I was just scrolling through the comments at the very bottom. There you go.
Mega doofus.
Yeah.
Could you give some insight on recurring services that you would do every month for a client? We deliver our website, optimized service pages, a PR for backlinks in M1, but what to do, oh, month one, but what to do after that. Well, it depends on what types of, are you talking about for my local SEO clients or for white label clients or both? For my local SEO clients, we do a press release a month, at least one. A lot of clients will get two every other week. They'll get a press release. We do Google business posts. So we do that regularly. Citations, which are, we use Yext power listings for that mainly, but we also will build additional types of citations like non-traditional citations, social citations, image citations, video citations, all of that kind of stuff. We also do link building on a regular basis. So topical and geographically relevant links, cloud pages, ID page, like all the branded entity assets we build out for our clients if they don't already have them. Some clients, depending on, like, again, a white label client or whatever, they might already have them. But if my clients don't, we build them out. For white label clients, depending on what the project currently has and also the subscription level, we will build out all of the branded and supporting assets over the course of usually 3, sometimes 4 months. It depends on the subscription level. But we usually build, and that includes cloud pages, ID page, press advantage organization page, Web 2.0 branded network, batch geo maps, all of these different assets that we build out, and then we build links to those assets because that's what helps to kind of strengthen the local entity. So press releases, again, like I said, on a regular basis, we do that consistently. So hopefully that's clear, but again, it depends on the client and what we've sold them on. For the most part, we have a recipe of services that we produce on a monthly basis for each client, but they're just loose guidelines. For all of my white label clients, for example, I have a sequence of things that we intend to do for every client every month. Starting month 1, it's this set of services. Month 2, it's this set. Month 3, it's this set. But every month we analyze the project data and then make adjustments to that loose plan based upon what the data tells us. And we do that every single month for every link building subscriber client. Again, we have loose guidelines that we follow every month, but every month we reanalyze the data, we refresh the data, and we allow that to tell us like what types of corrections to make to our intended plan, right? So it's basically we course correct based upon what the data tells us. And if anybody tells you like, hey, here's the perfect recipe for you do this month 1, this month 2, this month 3, and your clients are going to rank, they're full of shit, flat out. So again, you have to kind of do everything on a case-by-case basis, and that's what we try to do. Hopefully that's clear. All right, anything else? These guys were quiet today. Not a whole lot of chat going on, so maybe we can wrap it up early. Yep, I don't see anything else. Let's wrap
Everyone's
it up,
too
guys.
cold.
Right on. Well, thanks everybody for being here. We'll see you guys next week.